Okay, number one, determine if this is a good statistical question. How much money do high school students carry with them? So yes, it is. It varies from person to person. Okay, how many quarters equal $10? Not a good statistical question. It doesn't vary. It's the same answer every time. Okay, number two says, determine if each of the following is a valid question again. How many electoral votes did Barack Obama receive in 2012? No, it's a fixed number. We know that number already. We know what it was. Whereas part B, what percent of U.S. residents think the president is doing a good job? Yes, that's a good question. It varies person to person. So some will say yes, some will say no. Yeah. Number three. So furniture maker buys hardwood in large batches. Suppliers supposed to dry the wood before shipping. Wood that isn't dry won't hold its size and shape. The furniture maker chooses 5 pieces of wood. So we're choosing 5, that's our sample, from each batch and test their moisture content. If it exceeds 12%, the entire batch is not sent. Population and sample, okay? So our population is all wood within a batch. And the sample is the 5 pieces selected. Okay, next problem. I'm going to survey each week. Gallup poll surveys 1,500 U.S. adults, residents, to determine their opinion on different issues. What's the sample? What's the population? Our population and our sample. Okay, the sample who's selected are the 1,500 adults. Okay, that's the population. That's the sample, and those 1,500 adults are representing all U.S. adults. Okay, these are all true things too. That's actually happening every week. Gallup poll. If you go to Gallup.com, you can see a lot of different polls they've done. Okay. Next problem. A large retailer prepares its customers' monthly credit card bills using a machine that folds bills, stuffs them into envelopes, and then seals envelopes for mailing. Are the envelopes completely sealed? So they've collected 40 envelopes from the 1,000 stuffed envelopes. Okay, so our population is the 1,000 envelopes. And our sample that is being collected are the 40 envelopes that are being inspected. Next problem. How much vitamin C does orange juice contain? A nutrition magazine measures the amount of vitamin C in 50 half-gallon containers of a popular brand from 10 different grocery stores and concludes that the containers produced by this company do not have as much vitamin C as advertised. Okay, so the population would be all containers from this company. Okay, all containers of orange juice. Our sample are the 50 containers selected. Okay, an educator wants to compare the effectiveness of computer software for teaching biology with that of this textbook presentation. She gives a biology pretest to each of the student groups in the high school, then randomly divides them into 2 groups. One group uses the computer, the other students use the textbook. At the end of the year, she tests all the students again and compares the increase of the 2 groups. Observational study or experiment. This is an experiment. Okay, there was a treatment applied, and that treatment was either people were put into either the computer class or the textbook class. Okay, so we had experiment at something done to them. Okay, number 8. University of Helsinki, Finland, wanted to study to determine if chocolate consumption during pregnancy had an effect on the infant temperature at 6 months. Researchers began asking 305 healthy pregnant women to report their chocolate consumption. 6 months after birth, they asked the mothers to rate their infant's temperature, including temperament, not temperature, including smiling, laughing, and fear. The babies born to women who had eaten chocolate daily during pregnancy were found to be more active and positively reactive. The measure that they used, smiling, laughter, okay, is this an observational study or an experiment? Okay, now did we assign the ladies, you eat chocolate, you don't eat chocolate? No. This is purely observing. Okay, we observed how much chocolate they ate. Okay, so we didn't assign that to them, we just observed. Okay, 2 more here. Does reducing screen battery brightness increase the laptop battery life? To find out, they take 30 new laptops of the same brand. They chose 15 at random and adjusted their screens at a bright setting. The other 15 they left at the default setting, moderate brightness. They then measured how long the machine's battery lasted. Is it an observational study or an experiment? Okay, this is an experiment. We had a treatment that we applied to the battery. Okay, we put some of them at the bright setting, and we put some of them at the default setting. Okay, so we did something to them, then we measured the result afterwards. Okay, and the last one, does lack of sleep affect your academic performance? A teacher explores this question by asking everyone in stats class to write down on a piece of paper the total number of hours he or she slept on each of the last 3 nights before taking a test. He divides the students into those who slept for an average of 8 or more hours and those who slept for less. Then he compares the average test scores of the 2 groups, observational study or experiment. This is an observational, because we didn't say, okay, you sleep this many hours and you sleep this many hours. We observed how many hours students slept. Okay, so we just observed. We didn't apply anything to them. We just observed it.